Coming up next on Tech Now, after 14 years and 689 episodes, we are bringing Tech Now to a close. It has been an incredible run tracking the tech industry since before the beginning of the dot-com boom. A little later in the show, we're going to share some of the earliest and best moments of Tech Now. For now, though, one last time from the Tech Museum of Innovation in the heart of Silicon Valley, I'm Scott Budman. This is Tech Now. Thanks for watching. It was recently named Motor Trend's Car of the Year. But how does it feel to get behind the wheel of the Tesla Model S? We got an exclusive chance to spend the day with the Model S. Here's how it went. It's quiet, but it's still making a lot of noise. The all-electric Tesla Model S. Now for sale, lifting spirits, lifting Tesla's stock price, and recently named Motor Trend's Car of the Year. After talking about the Model S for some time, we got a chance to spend the day with one, driving along Bay Area roads and letting the sun shine in. By the way, the gigantic screen that largely serves as the car's dashboard is a not-seen-before use of technology in a car. For us adults, it takes a little getting used to. For our kids, being raised in a touchscreen world, it will eventually be perfectly natural. With the Model S, Tesla answers the question, can a luxury performance car run without gas? As Motor Trend said, this car is as fast as anything in its class. And trust me, it's also extremely comfortable, easy to drive, very smooth, and sometimes eerily quiet. And being electric, it does some things gas cars just can't do, besides avoid gas stations. Acceleration, for example. Whereas a typical gas car will gradually build up to full power, the electric motor is ready to go at any time, so you hit full power right away. But even as Tesla makes and sells more of them, the Model S, like the Roadster that preceded it, is still pricey. It starts at about $50,000 after federal tax rebate. The version we drove, which will go 300 miles between charges, costs close to $100,000. So, Tesla has done it. The Model S is a brilliant luxury and performance car. And maybe, as more of them are made and sold, more of us will be able to afford one. We go to the movies now, and Hollywood loves the Twilight series, largely because it brings in so much money. But Hollywood movies, especially those with special effects, are almost never made these days without Silicon Valley technology. And the latest Twilight is no exception.
After 18 years of being utterly ordinary, I finally found I could shine.
All those millions of Twilight fans make for big box office. But if you want to know who made the werewolves, you have to come here, to Berkeley and Tippett Studio. Not the biggest effects house, but now among the most respected.
When the wolves show up on the screen and the audience started clapping and stuff like that, well, little do they realize that, hey, I mean, this is the studio that, did these movies.
And these are the men and women who created the wolves. Sanjay Das is Tippett's chief technology officer. He oversaw a huge jump in technology since Tippett started work on Twilight New Moon.
So the first time when we did the wolves, we had about 2 million hair on the wolves. And by the end, in the grand finale, we almost had about 10 to 12 million.
A 500% jump in 3 years. Tippett relied largely on powerful Dell machines for its effects, but insists technology is only part of the process. These animators act too.
If there are scenes that they can act it out, they'll act it out themselves, take a reference of that, and then go back to their thing, to the desk, and start basically, animating that as well.
So somebody's going to be a werewolf.
Yes, and if it's a biped, yes. Quadped, not so much.
It's a worldwide success, something this group of Berkeley animators can take pride in.
I mean, I just can't describe that feeling. It's and that's why I'm in this business. I love it.
All right, besides sports cars and special effects heavy movies, here in Silicon Valley, we also love IPOs. Haven't had too many of them recently until these guys took the plunge and gave Tech Now an exclusive front row seat.
Would you like some?
The champagne tasted a little better inside the Sunnyvale headquarters of Ruckus Wireless.
You guys have done amazing things. We have done amazing things.
Okay, I see Bill. Oh.
As the bell rang on the New York Stock Exchange,
This is a very exciting thing, yeah.
200 Ruckus employees cheered. Forget reality TV. This is what a Silicon Valley IPO is really like.
I've been waiting for this for like over 6 years. I was driving here early this morning and I go, oh my God.
A day like this really makes it all worth it. You know, I've been here for 7 years now, and you know, through the grind, through the economic downturn, where we were just this upstart.
We feel good about our company.
Now, with the CEO on CNBC and $126 million of IPO money in the bank, it's time for Ruckus, a profitable wireless equipment maker, to celebrate.
I've been with Ruckus for 6 years. This is the first time I've ever been through anything like this. So it's all new to me and it's exciting. It's different. The atmosphere in here right now is like, okay, party time.
But you know what? Today just made it like, it just feel great. I'm speechless.
A company willing to go public in uncertain economic times, looking for investors to go along for the ride.
Congratulations, Tom.
Ruckus stock actually fell back on day one, dropping in value. On the second day, investors moved back in, willing to take a risk on a newly public company. Speaking of Apple, it scored a win recently in, of all places, the airport. The National Transportation Safety Board says that for safety reasons, it will no longer issue its employees BlackBerries, instead choosing the iPhone 5. That's a lot of iPhones. There are lots of green ways to drive here in Silicon Valley. Earlier in the show, we showed you the newest Tesla, now a company taking algae and turning it into a cleaner burning fuel. If there is such a thing as an historic fill-up, this could be it. Fuel made from algae turned into biodiesel, a lot cleaner than what's currently in your car.
30% reduction in total particulate matter that's emitted from the fuel when it's burned, a 20% reduction in carbon monoxide emissions, and a 10% reduction in total hydrocarbons. So overall, in terms of sustainability, big win for the consumer.
It's made by Silicon Valley-based Solazyme, distributed at this Redwood City gas station run by Propel Fuels. Their headquarters is nearby. Their future goal, help make the world a cleaner place.
We recognize the transition to alternative fuels is going to take a long time in this country. It's not going to happen overnight. So we want to meet consumers where they are today. We want to take the vehicles they've got and provide them the best possible fuel choices that they can use today.
It's a partnership drawing a lot of attention that could eventually lead to a new Silicon Valley leadership category, cleaner burning fuels to power your car along with other vehicles.
We've had our fuel go into literally destroyers, helicopters, planes. We've worked with other corporate partners, including Genentech and Volkswagen, but this is the first time the fuel is available at retail.
And like anything Silicon Valley takes the lead in, the companies here are talking job growth as well.
We continue to hire great talent for this business. So yes, we are growing very quickly.
Growing quickly, fueled by hopes of a cleaner future. The cleaner burning diesel from Solazyme actually costs about the same as regular diesel and gives your car the same performance.
Stay with us. There's much more to come on Tech Now. We'll update the world's coolest camera, and we'll take you to Los Angeles, where a startup wants to blend Hollywood and Silicon Valley culture. Tech Now will be right back.
Tech Now, your all-access pass to extra videos, interviews, and comments. Find us online on Facebook. Just search Tech Now TV. Welcome back. No shortage of gadgets out there for you to look for. Among the coolest we've seen in some time, the Lytro camera, and it's got some updates we want to tell you about. Eric Chang is here, the director of photography from Lytro. Eric, thanks for coming by. For the uninitiated, if you could just quickly sort of brief us on light field photography, why these cameras are so different.
Well, this is the first consumer light field camera, and the reason it's different is that it captures what we call the light field, which includes direction information. So this is information that's lost in traditional cameras. It's multi-dimensional, it's inherently 3D, and it pushes this camera into computational space, so we're harnessing the power of computers to do more interactive things with pictures.
And when you take a picture with this, we've seen how you're able to touch a few things, adjust things, and actually change the perspective. That's just amazing.
Yeah, so our two new features we announced are Perspective Shift and Living Filters. And what Perspective Shift allows you to do is actually go back to that moment and pretty much move the camera. So you can move the camera to the left, to the right, up and down, and just it really brings out the three-dimensional nature of the scene. So of course this is in addition to refocus, which is what the camera launched with.
Now refocus, you have the same picture, you're changing focus with perspective. Is it somehow because you've taken a larger photo that we don't see, and how can you move it and get a different perspective?
It's a larger photo in that the information is richer. So what we've done is capture that direction of light, which then allows you to go back and reimagine the picture using software.
Now, one of the things, and I'm sure you hear this a lot, is the 3D picture. There have been instances of 3D photographs. Is this something you're asked for a lot because you have the technology?
We are asked a lot about it. And so if you imagine shifting the picture to the left and showing that picture to your left eye and shifting the picture to the right and showing to the right eye, you would effectively have stereo 3D. So we have all of this three-dimensional information, and it's just a matter of how you want to look at it.
In a world where the professional camera is almost being put aside for the cell phone camera, and we're settling for a little less because of convenience, this isn't big or heavy. Is this sort of something that even the non-professional can really improve the kind of pictures, not to mention the cool features of perspective and focus, that they can do out there?
Absolutely. We've had people from soccer moms all the way to professional photographers buying this camera, and the unifying thread between them is that they're all really looking for new ways to tell stories. And so, this offers for the first time the ability to go back and explore a frozen moment in different ways.
Now, while we have you, every time we do a story on Lytro, people say, how can I find one? I understand you've expanded that as well.
Yes, we are on Amazon.com, we're in Target.com, BestBuy.com, and we're in City Target brick-and-mortar stores in 5 cities.
All right, so it's just an amazing thing, the idea of a camera made in Silicon Valley, created here, and that can do all sorts of interesting things, and even have different colors.
Yes, we do.
Colors. All right. Eric Chang from Lytro, thank you so much for stopping by.
Great, thank you very much.
After the break, Hollywood meets Silicon Valley in the City of Angels. And we talk your money when Tech Now continues.
Earlier in the show, we talked Twilight and the link between Silicon Valley and Hollywood. It's a link that's only getting stronger, thanks in part to startups, like the one Kim McNicholas shows us right here.
Our spinner. That's actually kind of incredible.
That is so cool.
So you guys can do one-handed cartwheels.
Bam! Chest bump. Here at Zephyr, you help movie companies and other studios and networks and things like that monetize their content online, and you have this great facility. When did you move in here?
9 months ago, probably.
9 months ago, so still very new. You're planning to expand here in this area. Why did you choose this particular area?
Those that know Venice love Venice. I mean, Venice is kind of its own vibe and culture. Especially along Abbot Kinney here. It's an amazing street. There's so much inspiration here. It's a lot of where the big directors and producers hang out. You'll see people all the time walking up and down the street. So there's high fashion, incredible food, and a lot of creators here. You're completely inspired when you come to work, and that's what we want.
Let's go, John.
We're almost going on 3 years old here, Ed Zephyr. How has your culture changed from day one?
You need to define it based on the people that are actually there.
That is good.
In the very early days, we had engineers. It was really us with engineers, like building something. And so we did crazy stuff, like we all grew beards before her launch. We had all these big grizzly beards, and we would eat Uncrustables, which is these little peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with the crust knocked off, and we would just eat so many that we'd just be so sick, because it was just startup. It was 15-hour, 16-hour days, just crushing stuff until launch. As we started to get a lot more media people, it became everything about movies. We would always go take the whole company to movies. We'd take big buses, big party buses down to Comic-Con. We'd all dress up like our favorite Big Lebowski character and go bowling.
The thing that's interesting about LA is it's a town that's built on creativity.
Let's meet Sam.
Nice. What does Sam do?
Sam can draw anything on command.
Me?
And people that come to LA, they come from all over the world, international, national. They come here to be involved in something creative.
Thank goodness he's not doing in color to get my red tongue.
And so we tap into that energy, and that's really affected the culture.
I can't believe you did that so quickly. Oh my goodness.
I know, that's Sam.
We're a place that promotes creativity. We love the work that they do with us, and we also want to be mindful of their own personal goals and aspirations, which kind of leads us to the Zephyr University stuff that we're doing. Think of it as like a mini film school.
We want to try and create like a studio space of some kind. There's definitely going to be a dedicated Zephyr U space. It's where the editing bays will be, the After Effects bays will all be there.
We'll do workshops where we bring in industry notables, and then we'll give them access to equipment.
Keep this in mind as like an opportunity that if you take advantage of, it will just like keep reaping benefit.
This is something they can do on lunch, this is something they can do after hours, they can rent all the equipment. But it's funny, when we were thinking about how to provide more value for them, what we thought at first was, you know, we'll create all these big schemes, and we had this thing there, sometimes they call them claimers. And so we said, we're gonna create this thing called the Hunger Claims. And Rich and I dressed up, and we did this big presentation, and there's smoke and fog, and we had everyone spin this wheel with all these incentives. And it just didn't, I mean, people thought it was funny. What we kind of found out and discovered is that these people just want to create. So why not have them create and present to us? We'll do film festivals of their content. We'll highlight them and their works. And that was the kind of shift that we've had like a really good response to.
Andrew is on our content team, and for one reason or another, Andrew knows the entire dance to It's Gonna Be Me by NSYNC.
You might been hurt, babe. That ain't no lie. I do. Never seems enough for you. You don't wanna lose it again. I'm not like you.
And as an added bonus, we've got Kim McNicholas here from Pando Daily to show us her NSYNC moves.
No.
Did you practice with him?
Absolutely not. He was very serious.
He was.
Very serious about doing matter of fact in every single movement.
We talk a lot about culture of startups here in Silicon Valley. They've got it there as well. I mean, that looked like a fun place to work.
Technollywood.
Yes.
Oh wait, no. Is this Technollywood? It's so blurred right now.
And it's true with the big companies. You know, Hollywood doesn't make a movie without Pixar and DreamWorks and THX and all that stuff. And Silicon Valley has got a big link. It's almost like this marriage between the two, and it really is solid.
And they're competing for talent. I mean, both in terms of engineers and also in terms of even directors and editors and you know, anyone who is in filmmaking. And so it's really joined. And so that's why culture is so important both here as well as in Southern California. And this was actually the first piece. I've been doing the Office Crasher series for a while for Pando, and this was the first time I have been able to actually demonstrate how culture evolves over time, depending on when you're actually building your platform. You're trying to attract engineers to the point where you say, okay, well, I have the platform already built. Now I need this different type of content creator. And what attracts an engineer and a content creator are two different things. And so when people ask me, well, what is culture? How do you define culture and how does it evolve? I say you need to watch this piece.
And if someone wants to be in LA, now they can be in LA depending on their skill set, or up here, I guess.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, I hate to use the term Silicon Beach because you have Silicon Alley, Silicon Beach, Silicon Valley, and I think it's ridiculous, but there is a huge tech scene that's evolving down there.
Excellent. Well, Kim McNicholas from Pando Daily, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks.
Welcome back. As we mentioned at the top of the show, this is our final show. It's been an incredible 14-year run of Tech Now. This is our 689th episode, and we want to thank you very much. We also want to remind you, you can still catch our stories online. We'll be posting them on our Facebook page, Tech Now TV. For now, we want to take a look back at some of the earliest and best episodes of the show and remember those who made it all possible. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you online. Thanks for watching. We begin with a big high-tech waste of time. There is far less expensive technology out there to help you. Is this helpful or Big Brother? On the subject of cool technology, here's Tech Now Scott McGrew.
And that investment in a $500 flashlight might end up saving you a whole lot of money.
That's got Tech Now Scott McGrew a little stressed out.
But that struck me as rather convoluted.
Tech Now's Vicki Wen shows us how.
Like the new boombox?
Tech Now's Lawrence Scott takes us to the console.
So using the Wii to put you on a practice field is only part of the deal.
From the Tech Museum of Innovation in the heart of Silicon Valley, I'm Scott Budman. This is Tech Now. This is Tech Now. This is Tech Now. On behalf of all of us here at Tech Now, we thank you for joining us during this past year. That's going to do it for us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching.